Gosh. Hi all, James here from Your Personal Training. Welcome to this webinar today where we will be discussing Hyperice as a brand and reviewing some of the amazing products that they've developed. I'm really pleased to have Jason Hussain, who's the head of sales within the UK from Hyperice on the call today, who's going to walk us through a little bit more about Hyperice as a brand, some of the product innovations, and also how we can adapt this as fitness professionals into our gym space and day-to-day routines. I've personally had the pleasure of knowing Jason for a number of years through the fitness industry. He's a fantastic guy, has a wealth of experience in health and fitness, and really has a deep understanding of what works well in the industry and how we can integrate some of the Hyperice products into our gym facilities and into our PT habits. With no further ado, I'm going to pass you across to Jason, who's going to run through a quick presentation, and we'll open up to some Q&A at the end of the session.
Yeah, cheers, James. Look, appreciate you guys letting me come on and give you guys a bit of an overview on who Hyperice are. And you know, as you've been well aware, we've been making a big play into the UK over the last sort of 12 months. And the personal training aspect of our business in terms of how we educate personal trainers and introduce Hyperice into the personal training world is really close to our hearts as a business. It's something we ventured into when the business first started early in its inception in the US, and something we want to do, especially as you know, James, as you mentioned, right? My background has been in fitness for many years from an education perspective, and now obviously on the product side. And I understand the industry, and I understand, you know, how our tools can really start to embed into the fitness industry and ultimately help PTs develop their businesses. So look, I appreciate you guys all jumping on, and hopefully you guys find some real nuggets out of this presentation, and hopefully learn something about how recovery technology is really starting to come into the industry and how it can benefit your individual businesses, benefit your clients, and ultimately help retention, right? The key thing with everything we do with clients, we always want to make sure that clients are continuously coming back to us, and we're offering, as a personal trainer, offering the best service we possibly can. Sometimes the biggest challenge that personal trainers face is how they can differentiate their services over the others on the same gym floors or in the same areas, right? So our products have been, over the years, been integrated into PT services to be able to do that, to be able to differentiate your service as a personal trainer. It's also, as I mentioned earlier, a great business development tool, and something I'll go into during this presentation. But look, to kick things off, who are Hyperice is probably the great place to start. So Hyperice are a recovery technology business. We've been going for coming up to 12 years now. And our products, when we first came to market, our first product to market was an ice compression product. And the reason we brought that product to the market, our founder at the time, a guy called Anthony Katz, was really watching closely what was going on in the elite sports market and the performance market around recovery. And what you will still see to this day is ice compression is a very basic modality. And with ice compression, we a lot of the time see someone fill up a plastic bag filled with ice and cling film it to some part of the body that you want to ice compress. And our founder at the time was sort of amazed that we were sitting here in 2000, around about the 2010 time, and we're still using these basic modalities. And he was like, surely there is a better way for these million-pound athletes, you know, to be able to ice compress. So he went away and built, you know, our first ever product, which was our ice compression product, which was a sleeve built for that specific part of the body with an ice chamber that you could fill with ice, or you could fill with what we brought out just post bringing that product out was our gel ice, which we call the Hyperice Fuel, which is a reusable synthetic ice that you can fill up and reuse over and over again. So he brought that to market, went away and did a prototype, and started to push it into the elite sports space. and the feedback was amazing. You know, that this product was built for the specific part of the body. The compression you got from it, the effects you got from it were very similar to what you would get from cryo. Obviously not to that extent in terms of the temperature, but in terms of the effects of what you get through cryo, our compression product really started to delve into that. The great thing was price point was far cheaper than going and having a cryo session. It was far more mobile and accessible. So, you know, we saw that a lot of these athletes, these elite sports teams, personal trainers, and the general consumers were really starting to hear about it and want this sort of product, right? So at the beginning, we were solely an elite sports brand. You know, we were making products for elite athletes. That's where Hyperice grew from. Our founder made some amazing relationships within the NBA and the NFL with individual teams like the LA Lakers, for instance, who have we've just become partners with the LA Lakers. And they've been part of the Hyperice story from day one, really. And we've used a lot of their athletes to test a lot of our products from the early days and all the way till now. So when we brought that product out, it was really well received, and that's really where Hyperice came from. And our whole mantra as a business from day one all the way to now is how do we help everybody everywhere move better, right? And it's the same sort of mantra as you guys as personal trainers will sort of live to in your own way, right? Everyone that you come into contact with, you're trying to help them move better. If that's moving better to lift more weight, if that's moving better to run a faster 5K or do a triathlon or marathon, that's what we're all here to do in the industry, right? We want everyone to move better. We want everyone to move better for longer. You know, all our clients aren't necessarily fitness enthusiasts when they first come to you. They may be the couch potato that's just decided now he wants to get off and really get into a fitness journey. So that's where that's sort of our mantra as a business. And that's where when we're building our technology, it's all geared towards how it can support individuals in moving better, right? And from a personal training perspective, that's great, because if people are moving better, they're more active, they're not getting injured, they're coming to you more as a client, and obviously that's better for your business.
Absolutely. And I think with that as well, Jason,
so
I think
just
yeah. Sorry, mate. I was just saying, with regards to that, I think often with personal training, you know, the rehabilitation and pre-rehabilitation are often, you know, unnoticed and brushed under the carpet to a degree. We've seen a rise in the use of things like cryotherapy chambers, and it's great to see that Hyperice have created products that are not just specific to boutique settings. It's really opened the market up from our perspective, which we're excited about.
Yeah, exactly that, right? And then we'll go into some of the products that, you know, how we've moved along and developed the product suite that Hyperice carry, right, from where we started, as I just mentioned, the ice compression, and where we are now. But I think the big thing we always talk about is how diverse our customers are from a B2B perspective, as well as our B2C and consumer businesses. You know, there isn't a sector I can sort of look at and go, we probably don't work in that. I think everybody, and as I was going back to what I was saying earlier, everybody everywhere wants to move better, right? But some people don't know how, or some people need to be pushed into it, or some people need to be educated on what they need to be doing to move better. And I think that what we're trying to do, and as personal trainers, right, what you're trying to do is ultimately educate the clients on how they can do that, and motivate the clients on getting up and getting into a gym setting, or getting into their local park with a personal trainer, and starting that journey. And what I think is really great about Hyperice, and as you'll see as I go into the presentation and talk you through some of the products, some of our product make that a lot easier to do, right? That's what we're making. We're making moving better, more accessible, easier, etc. And that's where, you know why we now moved into doing stuff in the massage therapy and spa sector. Fitness is obviously part and ingrained into our business. You know, CrossFit, functional fitness. You know, we've done a lot in the military area. We've done a lot in performance, as I mentioned earlier, around the elite sports piece, PT, chiro, etc., etc. You know, there is no area that sort of doesn't sort of work for us as a business. So yeah, look, like I said earlier, look, our technology helps you move better, you know, and we are continuously innovating our products. That's where Hyperice have sort of, I think, carved a bit of a niche for ourselves. We're not a massage gun company. We don't want to be seen as just being a massage gun company. We are a lot more than that. And as I said, we'll go into some of the products in a minute, but as you can see on the screen now, our Normatec product, I'm sure many of you have seen, you know, our Normatec product, if it's the best athletes in the world using these, you know, air compression trousers, or if it's, you know, people at you know, fitness events, triathlon events, etc. These, you know, Normatec and air compression has been has been a staple part of elite sports. And now what we're trying to do is make that more accessible. We're wanting to make this a piece of equipment that is, one, from a price point more accessible, and two, we're trying to educate people on what air compression is and how it can support you. So, you know, we are continuously innovating, we're continuously bringing new products out, we're continuously updating our technology. More recently, what we've done is we brought out our Hyperice app, which is an amazing tool for personal trainers to use, because it almost is your, you know, an added value to a PT service, right? Instead of just having, you know, your amazing services that you offer now, what you're also being able to do now is, this is another arm of your business. Being able to offer these sorts of products and these sorts of services is, you know, is what we class as an added value service for you guys, you know, and a business development tool, which is something I'll obviously go into in a bit. So as I mentioned, like, what are our products? Let's start at the dynamic compression technology, and this is our Normatec range. So Hyperice, I've been going for 12 years. We acquired the Normatec business back in March last year. So we bought out Normatec and made it part of the Hyperice brand. It was one area, air compression was one area that we just, at that time, this was probably back in about a year ago, actually, about a year ago, we didn't have air compression technology, but we knew we needed it, right? We knew we needed it as part of our range. If we were going to be a true recovery technology business and led with innovation, air compression technology, we knew was a big area of the market. So we went away. We were always very, very close partners with Normatec. So we went away and acquired the Normatec business and brought the Normatec products under the Hyperice brand. As I mentioned earlier, Normatec's been a staple part of many elite sports teams, elite athletes, but it's also been a very big product for a lot of personal trainers out in the market. A lot of people have invested in purchasing Normatec products and offered it as an added service. A lot of people have monetized, you know, if their clients want to do a recovery session post doing, so let's say you've gone and done a 45-minute PT session with your client, they're really invested in their body, they're really invested in movement, you've done the right education in telling them what air compression is all about and how it can benefit them, how it can make them jump, run, you know, push a lot harder in the next session and help them come back feeling fresher and more recovered. That ultimately then becomes an added service for you. So your menu of services, and this is what we'll go into with each product range, your menu of services, you can now be able to offer. Obviously, you've got to make the initial investment in purchasing these products. But, you know, as James, I'm sure, will mention, we've got, you know, a discount that you guys can access to buy these products. But if you make this initial investment, we've seen personal trainers across the world, right? We've seen personal trainers invest in Normatec products and make an initial revenue, you know, push in the first year of anything between £3,000 to £5,000 by monetizing and using this as an added service to a personal trainer. So it's a huge opportunity, and this is really where, you know, you can start to grow your business and massively differentiate your services to all the other personal trainers on the gym floor, in your own, you know, your local area, etc. This is where you become different. You know, this is where you're also, one of the things, I think the big things, recovery is becoming a huge buzzword in the fitness industry. You know, we know that more people are more interested and invested in looking after their bodies. More people are, you know, starting to think how they can, you know, come back in the next session fresher and perform better. The average person is more invested in that, and the average person is almost becoming similar to the elite athlete, right? Everyone is wanting to get that extra 1%, regardless if you're, you know, just getting into your fitness journey. Everyone wants to see progress, and our products offer that. So this is a great tool. You know, it's we have our Normatec leg attachment, our hip attachment and arm attachment. So it depends on, but our most common is our leg attachment, but it all comes down to what you guys would want and want to offer. But it's air compression, so it compresses against your legs. One of the biggest things with our Normatec product, which is our patented pulse technology, which is the pattern that the air compression goes through. So it will fill up one zone, will compress against your legs, it will hold, it will then move to the next zone, and that is what we call our pulse technology, right? But ultimately, the great thing about dynamic compression technology is the compression that the product is doing onto whatever part of the body, whatever attachment you're using, let's say the legs. If it once it's compressing, it's helping increase blood circulation, which speeds up recovery and speeds up the muscles recovering quicker. So the blood circulation piece, you see this is a bit of a common goal with all our products, but the Normatecs, they actually started as a medical device, and they were all about helping patients with lymphoma increase their blood circulation, because they can get very bad blood circulation. So this is what they were made for. So just going on to our percussion technology. So we've got 3 products within this range. So we have, this is what we call our Hypervolt range. That is our percussion range, as many of you might know it as the massage gun. This was a huge product for us when we launched it about 5 years ago. One of the key things when we launched this product is we had a look at all the other products on the market through a lot of our competitors. And what we were seeing is there was a bit of a common theme. One, they were very industrial drill-like in terms of their aesthetic look, but then also they were very, very noisy. And from a gym perspective, using a very noisy product, a lot of your clients don't want their other people's eyes on them. I don't want to be using a product in a gym and everyone looking at me going, well, what's he using or what's she using, right? So one of the key things for us when we came to market was to make something that was very sleek and aesthetically good looking. And then the other thing was to make sure that we brought something out that combated the noise aspect that we were hearing from so many consumers. So we want people to be able to use this while you're watching Netflix in the evening, the kids are asleep. We want you to be able to use this type of product, right? Or if you're in a gym setting, we want you to be able to use this on your client, or your client to be able to use this and not get worried that, hey, this is really loud and I don't want everyone looking at me, right? So that was something we really, really focused in on, and we launched with this product with our Quiet Glide technology, which we patented. And since its first launch about 5 years ago, it's been the quietest percussion device on the market, and it's been the biggest seller. The great thing is it's the quietest on the market, but it's also the most powerful. So our Hypervolt Plus gun is the most powerful gun on the market, has the most powerful motor, has the most stall force. Stall force is ultimately how hard you can push against the part of the body without it cutting out. You'd have to be, well, I don't even know if Eddie Hall would be able to push it against his part of the body and stall it. It's got a lot of force against it. So it's been huge range for us. It's been an award-winning product for the business, and it's continuously being updated and continuously improving the innovation around the product. And most recently, last week for the UK anyway, last week we launched our mini version of our Hypervolt, which we call the Hypervolt Go. It's 30% smaller, it's half the weight. It's so much easier from a personal training perspective to throw in your gym bag and take it around with you to meet various clients. So the Hypervolt Go has been another amazing product addition to the Hyperice product range. So our Hypervolt range contains our Hypervolt, our Hypervolt Plus, and the Hypervolt Go. The great aspect with the Hypervolt and the Hypervolt Plus, which is our bigger models, they both have Bluetooth connectivity. And as I mentioned, touched upon very quickly earlier, we've launched the Hyperice app. And the great thing about our Hypervolt is it connects to the app, and the Bluetooth aspect of the gun, the app will dictate to the gun. It will tell the gun what speed to go. So if you're telling your client you want to offer, and we've got to also remember, right, we're still in COVID environment, and people are going to be wary about coming into close contact with personal trainers. So the great thing with our products is they're very contactless. You don't need to have you don't need as the personal trainer to be sitting there and doing it for them. You can give them the gun and prescribe what you want them to do with it without you having to touch them. So and I think it's a really key thing for personal trainers to remember, going back into the gyms, going back face to face with clients, making sure that we're also thinking about what services can I offer and how can I still deliver a great service for those clients that maybe don't want me to come into contact with them. And I think our products are a great option to be able to offer that. So, with the app, they can connect to the app, the Hyperice app. You can tell them what workout you want them to do, and the app will tell the gun what speed. All that client needs to do is follow the video, right?
Fantastic.
And then going into one of our oldest ranges, but we've gone through various different versions of this, is our vibration technology. So this consists of 3 products: our Viper 2.0, which is our foam roller, vibrating foam roller, our Hypersphere, which is our vibrating massage ball, and then we've got the Hypersphere Mini, which is a mini version of the Hypersphere, still very, very powerful, but more of a compact version, and obviously easier to get into more tougher spots like glutes, IT bands, etc. The vibration technology, as we all know, right, has been around for many years. But the great thing with the Hyperice products, the roller is the most powerful roller on the market from a vibration perspective, and again, continuously innovating. The great thing with these products in a fitness environment, they're very well seen, right? Foam rollers have been around for ages. Vibrating foam rollers have started to hit the market a few years ago, right? So these are fairly common. The great thing is, again, going into the environment of the gym, do your clients want to be picking up communal foam rollers? Is it better to have your own product where they know they've been sanitized and clean? But again, it's, as a PT, I think it always looks a lot more professional when you're going, these are the products that I've chosen as a personal trainer that I want my clients to use. Regardless of what's on the gym floor, these sorts of products are the ones that necessarily aren't on the gym floor. And again, it comes back to that differentiator piece. How do you offer something that no one else is offering? These are the types of products. They're all fairly lightweight. They can go into a bag, and they just show, I suppose, how you as a personal trainer are moving on your business and thinking about the full wellness solution, the full recovery solution, not just, hey, let's get the hour session in, hammer the body, and let's forget about warm up and cool down. This is how you're going to get the best out of your clients, and this is how you're going to get them coming back, right? Making sure you're connecting the dots. And the thermal technology is probably the most exciting product range that we have. Is so unique to Hyperice. It's become, as a product range, it's doubled. The amount of sales we've done over the last 12 months has doubled in this range. People are starting to understand how the effects of thermal technology, in thermal, I mean heat, how heat technology can support better performance. So as we will all know, right, heat really supports stiffness. So if clients have stiff lower backs, which I think 80% of the UK suffer from issues with lower back, we've got a heat and vibration back strap, we've got a heat and vibration shoulder strap, and then a heat and vibration leg strap, which the leg one is multi-use, can be used hamstring, quad, knee. The great thing with these products is they're wearable. So people put them on, carry on with their warm-up. There's a 20-minute timer on there. They keep them on for, you can work out with them. You can warm up with them. Like I said, you can get yourself ready for your session really, really quickly. The great thing, I think people sometimes forget, you need the body to be hitting certain temperatures before it can perform at its optimum, right? So these sort of products really support that. And like I said, going back to what I said earlier, 80% of the UK have issues with lower back problems. So how do you as personal trainers overcome them issues? If you're seeing a client early in the morning and they've just got out of bed and basically came straight to the gym, naturally a lot of these guys will probably have tight backs. And how do you then make sure that you reduce the injury risk and ultimately get them coming back next session, next week, next month, next year, and they're a continuous client of yours? It's being able to give that extra 1%. And the Venom range, like I said, being a wearable tech piece, you strap it on and you carry on with your day, with your warm-up, whatever that might be. So it's another really, really great product. It has 3 heat settings, 3 vibration settings. and then the timer for 20 minutes. It's a really cool looking product. Again, one that's going to bring a lot of focus on the gym floor. A lot of people will come up and ask questions on what is that, and it's a conversation starter. And then the ice compression, which, as I said right at the beginning, was our first product to market. And again, you know, ice. We know ice compression and ice therapy is great for reducing inflammation. So if you've got, you know, clients that are struggling, what's always really great, you know, naturally some people, you know, have, especially around ankles, inflamed ankles, knee issues, etc. This is a great product for post-session. You know, so if you're having a client that's done a workout, maybe still has a little bit of a niggle, how do you overcome that? How do you, as the personal trainer, be able to not tell them just to, hey, go home and shove a pack of peas on your knee or something? How do you give them that immediate offering? And again, it's like that's that going that extra mile of you know, as a personal trainer saying, look, I've got these. Hey, if you got, is your knee not really, you know, inflamed a bit? Did it not maybe react? Hey, let's get you sat down over here. Let's give you, you know, the Hyperice ice compression product for your knee. Sit down, fill it up. The great thing about this sort of product is, you know, you can throw it in your bag. It's lightweight. There's always ice around. If you don't have the ice, you know, the Hyperice fuel, there's always ice in facilities, but it's just another added value. I think it's a great tool just to have available, and probably one that won't be as used as some of the other tools, but it just adds that value. And is that, I suppose, that lasting impression on your client that this guy really does go to, you know, this guy or girl always, you know, goes to the nth degree to make sure that, you know, I'm looked after. And then just as a business, just to give you a bit of an overview, you know, our two headquarters are based over in the US. As I said earlier, we're a business that's, you know, that started over in the US, but we're now available in 69 countries globally. And Hyperice is becoming a real brand to be reckoned with. We've recently partnered with some amazing brands, but we're a global brand, you know, and being able to have our products as part of a personal trainer's armory, you're doing something that's, you know, that's globally known, you know, a brand that's pushing. We're doing so much marketing and so much partnership that's slowly the consumer is going to know about Hyperice, and you can almost be a part of that from the very early stages, right? And the great thing is, I always find personal trainers are some of the most influential people out there, because people are paying for your services. They're paying for you to tell them how to get fitter, how to look after their body, right? You're the influential people. So, you know, using these types of products and getting your clients to move better and work better is only going to help you as a personal trainer keep those clients. And they're always going to have that connection of going, oh, that's, you know, I feel so much better. And, you know, the last 3 months, my body's moving better. I'm using these products on a daily basis, not just when I'm with the personal trainer, but it always comes back to the personal trainer of who they were introduced to that brand by. So I think that's always a great thing to know. And as I said earlier, some of our partners, as you'll see, we've partnered with some unbelievable brands, global brands. You know, we've done some phenomenal partnerships over the last 12 months with the likes of the NBA. We became the official recovery technology partner of the NBA, of the NFL. We've worked with Tesla in the past. We've worked with Nike in the past, Apple, Peloton, you know, Major League Baseball. And then more recently, from a UK perspective, we became the official recovery technology partner of Tottenham Hotspur. So these guys have been using our product for about 3 years, and asked us if we'd be interested in looking to become an actual official partner. So that happened at the beginning of the current season, and only, you know, every week I'm getting messages from their medical team to say how, you know, how the players are using the products on a daily basis. You know, the other day I was watching one of the games, Tottenham games, and cameras span to Gareth Bale. He lifted up his top and he had the Venom back on, for instance, you know. So it's great to see that these products, sometimes I think with these sorts of partnerships, people just see it's just a pure brand play. But, you know, our key message is, you know, we're a performance partner. We want to help people move better. And the reason people partner with us is because they believe in our products and they believe in our brand and they believe in the science behind, you know, our innovation and technology. So it's huge for us. And going on to some of the people behind the scenes that have supported the business and are real testaments to to our technology. They're the guys that test our products before it goes to market. These are just some of them. Naomi Osaka, who obviously just won the Australian Open last week. Lindsay Vaughan, Olympic champion in downhill skiing. Blake Griffin of the NBA. And more recently, we've added Patrick Mahomes, who's one of the biggest NFL stars. Tia Claire Toomey, who's CrossFit, world CrossFit champion, and many others who have sort of joined on and are part of the hype around the brand. And then we've got, naturally, there's a lot of science behind our products, and I'm sure that's a question you sort of ask yourself. Where did the products come from? We're not just bringing something to market that's got no backing, and we've got some of the very, very best therapists and trainers in the world that are behind the scenes. So the likes of Dr. Mike Clark, who's he founded NASM, CEO of NASM, who many of you might know as part of the Premier Global business. He came up with the optimum performance training model. He's been a huge advocate of Hyperice from the early days. And then Lenny Paracino, who's the LA Clippers soft tissue therapist. He's a huge advocate, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of the Hyperice education, but you'll probably recognize Lenny if you've done any of the education. He takes some of the courses. And then Mike Mancias, who's a trainer and movement specialist for LeBron James, and uses all our products as part of his daily routine with all his clients. And hey, look, no, I don't need to tell you much about LeBron James. We all know, this guy's performing at the highest level from the day he started in the NBA all the way to how old he is now, right into his late 30s now, and he's still performing it at the top level. And that's because these guys look for that 1%, and they use these types of products to make sure that their bodies are in the best possible shape when they go out onto the court, onto the pitch, into the gyms, etc. And that's why we want to introduce you guys to these sorts of products. And look, we've had loads of awards and accolades over the years. If it's from Men's Health, Women's Health, we're one of the fastest growing private companies for the last 4 or 5 years. We've won, stuff in the spa sector, and like I said, fitness award winners in the men's health, Runners Worlds, products of the year, etc. So there's with the Hyperice brand, you really are buying into something that has a lot of meat on the bone, right? It's not just a brand that's come out of nowhere. And I think the great thing with our products, as I mentioned earlier, they can be a real business development tool. We've already seen it on gym floors, people having our products and using our products on their clients. And they've then had 3 people within the hour come up to them and go, "Hey, what was that product you were using?" And then the PT saying, "Hey, this is the Hypervolt percussion device. Hey, if you want me to do a 5-10 minute session on you, feel free to book it in, and I'll give you it for free." There you go. There's your starter, right? As a personal trainer, you've then got the relationship going. They'll come back and be like, "Oh, that's great. I love that." You do it. That gives you a chance to sell yourself and really sell your personality and your services, and give them more information on how you can support them. And we've seen many people in the US and in the UK that have built 5-6 new clients in a week by just the initial conversation started by them asking, "What was that product you were using?" So these things aren't right now, they're becoming more common, but I think from a personal training perspective in the UK, they're still it's still the early days. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for personal trainers to jump onto the Hyperice bandwagon, if you like, and start to add these sort of products to your portfolio. And hey, look, for your clients, it's going to be a great addition to the service. There's obviously, like I mentioned earlier, there's opportunities for you guys to monetize and have a revenue opportunity by having these services as an added service. But then again, like I just said, it's a great business development tool, a great talking point. There's loads of ways that we've seen personal trainers do, like recovery sessions where you have "Hey guys, I'm advertising for doing a 15-minute recovery session. Come and use these sorts of products. Come and talk to me. Come and sit down. I'll take you through an actual recovery session, warm up or cool down session." So there's loads of ways that you can really get innovative. And I'm always here to support as well.
Fantastic. That's a great insight. Thank you so much for that, Jace. And I think you're totally relevant on the point. I think personal trainers and health clubs need to be early adopters to the Hyperice brand, because you're leading the way in your technology innovation, and will continue to do so. Only watching the NFL final a few weeks ago, you guys were supporting those athletes to get the optimum performance. You talk about the 1%, but I think certainly from a gym perspective, personal trainers usually promote themselves and influence 5% of a membership base in a gym. And there's clearly a bigger market. 80% of people experiencing low-grade back pain, we're in a position to help them with this technology. So there's an opportunity here, I think, from a fitness professional to create classes, create workshops, and create those member touch points where we can really showcase the value in terms of the products, recovery, prehabilitation, and also rehabilitation as well. From a personal perspective, we've obviously got to be quite careful about making medical claims with this sort of stuff, but certainly I use the Venom product. In recent times, in the last year, I've adopted more of a sedentary role, not being active, not being out and about so much. And certainly from my perspective, the vibrations combined with the heat is a fantastic tool in terms of my day-to-day mobility. I'm hitting the roads a lot more these days, Jason, with running, because our hand has been forced, but certainly that's really helped my performance. In previous years as well, being an ex-rugby player, naturally I've developed some rotator cuff issues, and the Hypervolt has been fantastic. I use it pre and post exercise whenever I'm doing upper body compound training, and it's a fantastic tool that I couldn't be without, in actual fact. I think having used it now for 6 or 7 months, I couldn't be without that, and couldn't imagine a training session without it.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things as well, I always use this a bit of an example. When you go to the dentist, right, the dentist always tells you, use an electric toothbrush. Don't forget, buy toothpicks and buy special toothpaste, etc. As personal trainers, we should be doing the same, right? We should be, advocating specific products that we believe in, that we think is best for our clients, is going to support their well-being, what we're almost looking to, we want to, I always say this, what we want to be is, we want our Hypervolt gun, for instance, our massage gun, to be the electric toothbrush of the fitness industry, right? Before you go to, when you wake up in the morning, as you would brush your teeth, you should do a 5-minute, 10-minute Hypervolt session. Before you go to bed, you brush your teeth, you should also do a 5-10-minute Hypervolt session, right? So, that should be a staple part of everybody's lifestyle, and especially the more and more that people are maybe more sitting still and not moving around as much, there's going to be more things happen, especially in the current environment where people aren't making that daily commute to work and maybe getting that extra 2,500 steps in a day, right? Because they're not making the walk to the station or the walk to the office. There are more people that are just stationary, and we need to be remembering that, especially when we go back into the gyms where people maybe have been less active. So yeah, look, the personal trainers are the dentists of the fitness industry, right? So they need to be the ones that are not just telling them what to do in the session, but also saying, well, what you should be thinking about, and these are the products you should be thinking of purchasing if you really want to get the best out of your body.
Absolutely. And we've obviously got an exclusive discount with Hyperice. So that's available to all of our partners and all of our personal trainers. Jason and I are happy to work with individuals on creating product packages that might be beneficial to delivering in-club workshops, but also maybe packages that might be relevant to your demographic of client base as well. So we can certainly support from that. From a Your PT perspective, we've obviously got access to the modules, the education modules that Jason has kindly provided. So there's some internal sort of education so that we can, really be on point in terms of our service delivery and what we communicate to the end user. And I think from an operation perspective, there's a huge opportunity here to, almost store some stock as an off-the-shelf opportunity in club as well. I think naturally, if we're having exposures in the gym, the members want, almost the ability to have an impulse buy, go to reception and purchase one of these products. And again, Jason would be more than happy to spend some time to work out a plan of attack for that as well. But as always, Jason, we really appreciate your time. We really value the opportunity to work with you and the partnership we have with Hyperice, and look forward to continue our relationship and catch up again soon.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. And like I said, any questions anyone's got, feel free to push them through.
Fantastic. You have a great day. Thanks again.
Cheers. Thanks, James.